Welcome to the final Beatles reaction. Today I'm going to be reacting to Help by the Beatles. This came out in 1965, kind of just the same length. Once again, 33 minutes. They really had this down to a formula at this point, I guess. Apparently, according to Genius here, this album continues to kind of get more serious in terms of the songwriting and more introspective. Apparently that's a product of the band's growing infatuation with Bob Dylan at this time. I've seen a couple comments on previous videos of you guys thinking that I'm listening to the mono versions of these albums. I've actually listened to the 2009 remastered versions for every single one. I'm going to listen to that remastered version today as well. Not much else to say. Go join the Patreon if you want to go see this reaction uncut, as well as all the other Beatles reactions. There's a link in the description down below. Let's get into this first track. It's the title track, Help.
Help, I need somebody. Help, not just anybody. But now these days are gone and I'm not so self-assured. Please help me.
Damn. Really kind of desperate vibe to these lyrics and this vocal performance.
Help me get my feet back on the ground. Help me.
Dang, okay. Kind of a very energetic rocker, but the lyrics are kind of the exact opposite of that. It actually reminds me, like the concept of this kind of reminds me of Hey Ya by Outkast. Obviously that track is very, very catchy and upbeat, but the lyrics are definitely not that, and a lot of people kind of misunderstand that track and misunderstand what it's going for. I don't know if the reception for this track is the same as Hey Ya, but you definitely see that contrast, and I think it creates something pretty interesting here. This is something like, I've heard that Help, I Need Somebody, right? I've heard that melody, but I never have heard the entire track, so it was cool to hear it in the full context here and hear the entire thing. Really, really busy, lively instrumentation, so good start. We're getting, as I suspected, a little bit more serious, introspective. We saw hints of that on the previous two albums? Yeah, the previous two albums. And I guess we're just continuing that here. Let's keep going. Next track is The Night Before.
Now today I find you have changed your mind. We said all goodbye the night before.
Okay. I like the writing quite a bit on that track. It just musically, it didn't really do much for me. Yeah, at this point, if I'm going to hear stuff like that, with everything I've heard from the Beatles, it's like, it's really not going to wow me. Just musically, I'm saying. Not, like, again, I like the writing a lot here. Let's keep going, though. You've got to hide your love away.
Here I stand, head in hand.
I was going to say, I wonder if we're going to hear some Bob Dylan influence coming in, and maybe this will be that track. Love that walk down. Ooh. You can feel that Bob Dylan influence on this track, but it doesn't feel derivative or anything. That's good. Really, really like the writing here. Kind of bitter lyrics here, kind of a frustrated John, I guess, here. Next track is I Need You.
You don't realize how much I need you.
Is that like distorted organ on the right? Whoa.
I didn't realize love it anymore.
Love that cowbell. I love how kind of drunk this track feels. Everything's so messy and it's just kind of like lazy, you know?
Please remember how I feel about you.
Wow, okay. It feels like it's been a while since we've had like a really just amazing George track, you know? I feel like he wasn't really that present on the first four albums. So yeah, I really like this. This is just a super pretty melody. I love that, like, just the little flavor he puts on the end of this. So come on back and see just what you mean to me. Like the way he ends that line, just the subtle like turnaround with the vocal melody is so nice. Really interesting, kind of drunk, like distorted, I guess, sounded kind of like an organ on the right there. This feels like something that would be on one of their later albums.
But as from today, well, I've got somebody that's new, and so I'm telling you, this time you better stop, or I have got
Oh, see, dude, I love when the Beatles do this, when they just flip into like bridges and they just transition between different sections so seamlessly. Like it's so sudden, but it works. Like, listen to this right here. Oh, like you'd expect that chorus to hang on for a little bit longer and have some space in between the vocals, but they just go right into it with the next line. That's really, really cool. I like that. Really good guitar licks on the right there. Really good. I kind of wasn't enjoying that track when it first started. I thought it was going to be just kind of another seemingly bland track musically like The Night Before was. But as it went on, I really started to get into those guitar licks on the right there. I love just the seamless songwriting. It flows really well. And I was just thinking, like, this is probably, what year is this? This is 65. This type of writing is probably pretty shocking at the time, right? Like, I don't know, with how kitschy and love-centric everything was, and like traditionally love-centric, where it's like you're not talking about cheating in those tracks on Please Please Me, right? But this, being a track about falling in love with another girl, feels like kind of flipping that idea on its head, I guess. I might be wrong in that. Maybe it wasn't shocking at the time, but next track is You're Going to Lose That Girl. Okay.
You're gonna lose, yes, you're gonna girl. Don't take her out tonight, she's gonna change her mind.
Damn. I love how bold they are on this 2-track run here. First, they're talking about, I'm going to steal your girl, and now he's saying, I'm going to steal your girl again. If you don't take her out tonight, I'm going to take her out tonight.
If you don't treat her right, my friend, you're gonna find her gone. I'll make a point of taking her away from you.
This track is so ruthless. This is good. This is really good. I like how ruthless. The boys are getting ruthless on this album. And I guess you could say maybe they're just writing not from their point of view. Maybe this is a character, but I think it's funny to think that this is just them writing from, from a very personal point of view. Another track that feels like flipping that kitschy love song idea on its head, right? Next track is Ticket to Ride.
It's today. The girl that's driving me mad. She's got a ticket to ride. Riding so high.
Oh,
Sure think twice, sure do right by
that shaker?
before she gets to saying goodbye.
Why did I do that?
Sure think twice,
Ignore that I just did that.
my baby don't care.
All those vocals and this percussion here?
My baby don't care.
Dang. That's one of those Beatles tracks that just has so much swag to it, so much soul to it. And, okay, this is actually insane. It says this is the first Beatles track that's over 3 minutes. That's actually, okay, what? 5 albums in, and it's their first song over 3 minutes. That can't be real. That can't be right. I gotta check. I'm checking every album. Please Please Me. There was none over... Okay, they lied to me. There's a track on With the Beatles that's... Well, I guess it's like exactly 3 minutes. So I guess we'll give them that. Hard Day's Night. Is there any over 3? There's none. Beatles for Sale. Is there any over 3? There's none. Wow. This is their longest track. 5 albums in, and it's 3 minutes and 9 seconds. There's got to be some, like... Maybe there's some kind of story behind that. Maybe the radio at the time... Or, I don't know. Maybe the radio, like, only accepted tracks under 3 minutes. I don't know. That might be a stupid thing to say, but that's just kind of crazy to me to see, Because it's, like, it's just weird. A lot of, like... I want to say old heads, but I know there's a lot of old heads watching this. A lot of, like, older people, the older generation are like, today's music is just too short. The songs don't go anywhere. They're not long enough. But... I mean, the Beatles in the 60s here took 5 albums to get to a track that was over 3 minutes. And I'm not saying short tracks are better than long tracks. I'm not saying that. I just find it interesting. So there you go. But yeah, putting that aside, really good track here. Lots of energy, lots of swag put into it. Next track is Act Naturally.
They're gonna make a big start out of me.
I do like how Ringo has such a distinct voice. Like, sometimes it's hard for me to tell George, John, and Paul apart, but when Ringo's singing, you know it's Ringo.
The biggest fool that ever hit the big time, and all I gotta do is act naturally.
I love this. I love the humor on this album. It's so refreshing. Like, the entire concept of this song is just hilarious.
And all I gotta do is
Act naturally. That's really good. Apparently that's a cover. I fully thought that was a Beatles original, but the original was by the Buck Owens Buckaroos. What a name for a band, the Buck Owens Buckaroos. But yeah, I just love the concept of this track. Like, I'll just be myself and I'll be a big movie star. You know, I don't even have to play a character. I'll just act naturally. There's a lot of flexing on this album. The boys are really flexing, and I really like it. And a really actually engaging Ringo vocal performance. I feel like the few tracks he's had on the previous albums didn't really do much for me, but this feels like his best performance so far. Next track is It's Only Love.
I get high when I see you. Butterfly. Why should I feel the way I do? It's only love, and that is all.
Heartbreaking track here. Love the writing. I like that question. It's only love, and that is all. Why should I feel the way I do? That's really good. That feels like, oh man, that feels like just one of those tracks that has like the classic Beatles sound, you know? Before I started doing any of these Beatles reactions, before I can't speak, before I had ever heard any Beatles album, if you asked me to imagine what a Beatles song sounded like, it probably would have been something like that. Let's keep going. You Like Me Too Much. Oh, yes. Oh, this reminds me of some like Nina Simone stuff. Okay, never mind. I like how this album is like focusing on the tragedy of love, as corny as that sounds in a way. Like on the first album, Please Please Me, it's like, yeah, we're in love. Look at us. We love each other so much. This is so awesome. But this is like, I love you too much, and it's killing me. Really good piano. I love how, like, the piano's very Motown-y, right? I love how, like, Motown-y piano parts, like, operating in that style, they have a really nice way of, like, bouncing in between, like, I don't know what the technical term is, like, bouncing in between chords and, like, single notes where it's like, do-do-do-do-do, you know what I mean? That's something, like, I just realized now, but you hear that a lot in, like, Motown music, so. The vocal melody really isn't doing much for me here, though. Yeah, like I said, really good piano, and I like the writing a lot, but the vocal melody itself just kind of felt a little bit underwhelming, so kind of mixed on that track. Next track is Tell Me What You See. Oh, okay. Also, sorry, I keep pausing it. I know I'm pausing a lot. It says this was produced by George Martin. Now, obviously, George Martin was a huge part of the Beatles' later albums, but I can't remember if he did production on anything before this. I'm going to have to go back and check, but that's the first time I'm noticing that it says it was produced by George Martin. So, yeah, it's something I gotta check on.
Big and black the clouds may be, time will pass away. Tell me what you see.
Oh, those drums, man.
Open up your eyes now. Tell me what you see.
Oh, give it to me again, please. Yes! Really interesting fusion of sounds here, different textures. Oh. Damn, that was good. Just the production, the different textures. I mean, stylistically, that felt like it was fusing so many different things together. Just a great structure. That little drum bit. I don't know what it was about those drums, but they were just so satisfying, bro. Those harmonies towards the end there. It's been a while since we've had a track, like, obviously there was tons of those tracks on the later albums, but it's been a while since I've had a Beatles track do that to me. Next track is I've Just Seen a Face. Oh my god. Love how closely those guitars are mic'd.
I've just seen a face.
Whoa.
I can't forget the time or place where we just met.
Love that bass line.
Yes, I'm falling.
I love how quick this vocal performance is. Yes, let's go. Let's go. This feels this feels like a full circle moment for some reason. It's like I started these reactions off with just the best of the best, right? Starting with Rubber Soul, then going to Revolver. And then we have some mid stuff. Okay? I'm going to be honest. We have some mid. We have With the Beatles. We have Beatles for Sale. Oh man, we're back to that good stuff. We're back to that good shit. Give me more of that good shit. Okay. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting really cringy. It's good to be back. Oh, okay. Hold on. We're at a very popular track here, Yesterday. 750 million streams. I know that title, obviously, but I can't really put my finger on what this track sounds like, so maybe I've never heard it, but I guess we'll see. Let's go. Yesterday. No, I've heard this.
All
Okay.
my troubles seem so far away. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. Why she had to go, I don't know. Love was such an easy game to play. I need a place to hide away.
Oh my god. What a powerful track, man. I wasn't expecting that to hit me so hard emotionally, but man, these lyrics, bro. Just, yeah, I don't know. There's something so heartbreaking about just, I guess, the idea of regrets in general, and that's what this track is really talking about, right? Wanting to go back to a yesterday when all my troubles seem so far away. The strings, too, just such an intimate vocal performance, and again, that closely mic'd guitar. I was just thinking, like, during listening to that, like, this is a 10 out of 10 song, you know? And that might be the first one. Well, I don't know. Tell Me What You See was pretty good, too. But, like, that's probably the most visceral, emotional reaction that I've had to a Beatles track during these first 5 albums. Last song is Dizzy Miss Lizzy. I love that title. Oh, God.
You make me dizzy, Miss Lizzy. The way you rock and roll, just a rocking and a rolling. Girl, I said I wish you were mine.
Man, that guitar tone just gets under your skin in the best way. It's so piercing.
Gonna tell your mama, I said I wish you were mine.
Damn. Okay, so that's a cover too. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Original 1958 early rock single written and sung by Larry Williams. Okay, that was so good. What a vocal performance. What a piercing guitar tone. very, very, like, visceral, guttural sounds at points there. Yeah, that was really good. There you go. That is Help by the Beatles. This is definitely the best out of the first 5. Like, that's without question. It's not even close. And this is probably actually a little bit better than some of the later albums, too. I really enjoyed this thing. It started off... Well, actually, no. It started off good with Help. The night before, kind of meh. But then, like, the second half specifically, really, really good. I don't know. You could definitely tell they could take their time more with this album. It doesn't feel as rushed as Beatles for Sale. There's more interesting fusions of styles here. A lot of it leaning kind of country and folky. Some Bob Dylan inspiration here. And yeah, I just think there's a lot more variety than on some of the previous albums, and just a lot more heart and soul put into these tracks. More interesting writing. Just the tearjerker that is Yesterday. I'm pleasantly surprised. I know, I mean, a lot of you guys were saying in the comments that I would like this one, but I didn't really expect to like it this much. So there you go. That is Help by the Beatles. And that's it. that's it for the Beatles reactions. We went through all of them. I know there's some singles that you guys have been commenting for me to react to. I mean, I'm not gonna react to it, but maybe I'll listen to it on my own time. That's not gonna end up in the ranked video, because I'm just gonna be doing their core albums. So that is the end of the Beatles reactions. It's the first time on this channel that I've really done like an artist's entire discography, which I'm just really proud of at this point. Like, on this channel, I tend to get bored of artists pretty fast. Not bored, but like, I want to keep it fresh and I want to keep switching things up. I don't like just doing the same artist over and over again, but I'm happy that I was able to stick to this and commit to it and get it done, because it feels very rewarding to be at the end of this and like see that full evolution. And obviously, before I do the ranked video, I'm gonna listen to every album again. Thank you guys for sticking with these reactions, and thank you for just continuing to watch and leave in the comments down below. That's gonna do it. Make sure to go join the Patreon if you want to see this reaction uncut. Link in the description. And yeah, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which is gonna be the Beatles ranked. All right, peace out.